Hello and welcome. I am the Suit&Tie Dip&ChewGuy, and this is an Amazon review. It will most likely also show up in Tools of the Trade playlist. So we will be taking a look at Spitbud Original in their original olive green. Not olive drab, olive green, which doesn't look at all like olive green. It actually looks sort of khaki to me, but that's whatever. So this is found in my Amazon storefront in the section that is related to stuff like this. All right. What is this? This is a cuspidor. A cuspidor. Cuspidor is from a centuries old Portuguese word, which I am not going to try to pronounce, that means place to spit. And that Portuguese word is from a centuries even older Latin word, as is most Portuguese words. So, this is a cuspidor, and it is made by Spitbud.com. Because we can't just have our name, we have to add .com under it every time, no matter where it appears. So, as you can see, it is a red, white, and blue. There is the olive green. It's in a pretty simple, pretty cheap, somewhat sort of cardboard box, packaging box. There is no interior anything, really. So, opening it up. Now, I have used this before, okay? I'm not going to be actually using it in this video because I'll be showing the inside of it. This is what you got. It is embossed right there with Spitbud.com. I don't know if that's going to show. But then, for whatever reason, we decided to put that on there. And it's one of those raised sort of permanent stickers, like bump stickers. Yeah, okay, so yeah, there's that. Besides that, it is completely plain with the exception of raised made in the USA. If you're noticing a pattern here, red, white, and blue, stars, made in the USA everywhere. That is because the company caught some flack, probably over a year ago now, from the boys over at the other company, Mudjug, technically.com, for sort of skirting. Basically, the product was not being manufactured in the USA, but it was being packaged in the USA. They were headquartered in the USA. Well, being headquartered and packaging a product that's made in a foreign country isn't really made in the USA, but that's what Spitbud.com was putting out there. So the Mudjug guys called them on it, and what happened? Did Spitbud go down in flames? No. It actually started making its products in the USA. So, I don't know if that was the intended response that Mudjug wanted, but that's what happened all the same. So, I believe it is made outside of San Diego. So, the product itself, I like it and I don't. Okay? And there's a number of reasons. It's very aesthetically simple, which I like. I like simple stuff. When in design, I like sort of bare bones. But there are issues with the product. I see them as issues. Functioning wise, it's fine. It works. It does what it claims it will do. It is very rough. Okay, this is not the competitor's product. That said, my biggest problem with it is it's priced like the competitor. Okay? So, in the Amazon store, this is going at like $19.95 or $19.99. Then you pay the shipping. So I thought to myself, I'm like, I'm looking at this thing, I'm using it, it works fine, it does what it's supposed to do. And I'm like, that's steep though. That because you can get a roadie from the other company, like in a plain color like this, for $15.99. Mind you, it costs a little bit more shipping because it's coming directly from that company, but still. So my problem with this is not so much it's a little rough around the edges, and I mean that literally. It's got seams on it. It's got seams up here. It doesn't look like it's sitting quite flat on top. It's just, it looks like if the Big Brother made this, it looks like Big Brother's little brother decided to try to copy his older sibling and came up with this type deal. So the price point is my biggest issue. In my mind, now, I do not work for Spitbud.com, and I am sure they have a whole slew of reasons why this is priced like this. But this, I think they'd be served better if they dropped the price. Simple as that. I mean, if they drop the price to, let's say, at least the price of a plain roadie, but even better, let's say $12.99, I think they could get some traction that way. Now, obviously, it's not, as simple as me sitting here on, YouTube going, oh, you should drop the price by, $7 and you'll be fine. No, because they have to deal with the person that's running the operation that's actually making this. Okay? So, I mean, depending what it is, but really, I don't think this is worth $20. All right? So, what you got here is basically, now their main line of products are the ones that have the can holder / cutter on the bottom. This is one of the originals. It comes in this olive green and black. There may be a gray one also. No can holder. It sits a little bit tall. It's got a very tight funnel. Okay, it's not wide. Now, I knew that was going to be that way when I got it. Until it got here, I was thinking, that doesn't really make a difference. Until I got here, and then I was like, you know what, that sort of does make a difference. And it's not like I can't hit that target. It's more of a psychological, you don't have as much of a target. To show you an example of what I'm talking about, okay, much larger, wider. So it's got a little push tab. The other thing I don't quite like is this here. It's like I don't even know if we need a push tab. I feel like it might pop off at any time, but it's just, and there you go. Now, I was running this under some water, so it's got some condensation on it still. I didn't realize that. Okay. And it has one of these tight ends, which I will most likely end up dremeling off, because that's what I did with this. I bought a new one, but now see, these have a lip. See that? See that edge right there? That's how deep that is. Okay? And then you have this, and it's just like, there's, at some point, that little lip thing going on there is going to wear out, and that's not going to clamp on anymore. So the Mud Jug one has the same thing. It is a little bit wider, and it is not as long where it gets tight at the bottom. This one, it's elongated. It's really elongated. Now, I know why the companies are doing this. The companies are doing this because both these products are billed for cup holders and spill proof, or very close to being spill proof. And by adding that tight end there, that is going to greatly aid in this never spilling until the day the top wears off and this just completely pops off. This one is not as bad. That said, this is not the funnel. I very rarely use a roadie. Very rarely. I do not drive. Okay? I can drive, but I do not drive. So cup holders are not a deal to me because obviously if I'm riding in a car with someone, the driver, I am not going to put my cuspidor, in the middle console under his elbow or her elbow. You know, I'm going to hold it on me, and usually if I'm in a car anyway, I am using a stealth. But, so for my purposes, these things are not needed. So mine looks like that. These are exactly the same with this one being cut and sanded down. With a spittoon, it allows an extra ounce, maybe 2. With this, cutting this off will most likely, if I do it right about here, add 2 ounces. What I do use things like this for, and like this, is for chew indoors. The reason is with my cutoff roadie, it is the mud jug with the most room in it. With the cutoff. Now, mind you, I'm not moving around in a vehicle, so I'm not worried about, technically speaking, the way that's cut off, I could not upend this if it was full. There would be something coming out. It's no longer spill proof or spill resistant. This, same deal. Now, oddly, on the inside of this, it is like flawless in there. Like, there are no seams, there is nothing. It is all smooth. On the outside, you have a pretty drastic, which you may or may not be able to see, seam here. There's another one over here, which they've almost highlighted with this thing. And then you have like the lip plus another seam up here that has a cross seam in it. It's just like, shouldn't all of that been done, put on? Like, I don't know about injection molding and manufacturing with plastic. So really, I don't have room to talk. But in my mind, my layman's terms, shouldn't all this stuff be on the inside? Like, did somebody do something backwards, or? So this will come off right about here. They're claiming this holds, as bought, holds 7 ounces. Now, let me get it like this. I don't know about that. I don't know if this area down here is enough. It is an ounce short of a cup. They may be pulling some deal. Well, if you have it turned this way, it'll still go down the funnel, and then technically speaking, even though it's coming up, it's like, okay, no, I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to cut it off. So, look, I am a firm believer in free market capitalism. So the more competition companies in a certain area, the better, in my mind. So I'm glad that this company is around. I'm glad they're able to put something out. It works. It's better than, your soda bottle. Okay? It's just a little bit, it even flexes a little bit. It's just, and this thing is just like, why? Why did you put that there when your thing's there and you saw the packaging? They got Spitbud.com everywhere on the package. So it's like, was that really necessary? It does add a little bit of a grip, but the thing is, I don't think that's why they put it there. I'm not quite sure why they put it there. At first, I was like, are they actually trying to partially cover the seam? Because they put it right on it. But, it's just one of those things that I'm glad it's around. and it works. It's functioning. It will fit in a cup holder. It is comfortable in the hand. It is a little bit thinner down towards the bottom. You know, it's comfortable and whatnot, and it's fine. It's just a little rough around the edges, but the big point is rough around the edges is okay, but not at the price that it's going at. And it's not just Amazon. Like, if you go look at mud jugs on Amazon, they're usually, it's somebody else besides Mud Jug selling them, and they're inflated prices. So I went to Spitbud.com after having that drilled into my head through all the packaging and whatnot, and they're the same price over there. So, like, the product not being up to the standards of its competitor is okay. That's fine. As long as it works, it's functioning, and, you know, there's aspects about it that make sense. Like, you don't actually see anything because you're not spitting into a Mountain Dew bottle. But that all sort of goes to the wind when the rough-edged thing like this costs more than this. Now, I only buy plain cuspidors. I have one hydro-dipped one, and I wasn't overly impressed, to tell you the truth. So, I am quoting prices for this roadie for the plain. And the price is, not getting into shipping and everything, the price is $4 less than this. The roadie's flawless. It's the least used of my mud jugs, but the thing is flawless. And it serves its purpose. I don't have a lot of that situation happening where I use it all the time, and I don't use it much. But I'm not disappointed that I got it. I'm not disappointed that I got it. I'm glad it's out there. I think competition is good. I don't know why a year and a half ago or whenever it was, Mud Jug felt a need to take them to task like they did online in certain areas. Really, I think Mud Jug should be a little more secure. Their product far exceeds this. And considering there's a bunch of rip-off Mud Jugs floating around on Amazon.com coming out of God knows where, I don't know why they spend the time. Maybe it's a Californian thing. You know, the guys out there get a little funny about stuff. I'm just making stuff up. Don't worry about it. So it's on the associated page on my storefront. It comes quick because it's coming from Amazon. It works. It's functional. It makes sense if you're using soda bottles or whatnot. It has some drawbacks and it's a little rough around the edges. And I think it should be like $7 cheaper than it is. I think the price point should be lower. This is not to cut on Spitbud.com. It's just, I don't see them being able to make a real dent in the market at an inflated price. Now, maybe they can't move the price down. You know, the guy that's running the plastic factory or whatever, he's like, nope, we're not moving that down. I need that. That could very well be. But if they could move the price down, they probably should. And they would probably make a little leeway. As it stands right now, they're running the aforementioned website with this stuff in one section and cigarette machines in another. Yeah, they're selling I forget what they are, something Matic cigarette machines on the, yeah. So evidently it's not going that well over there. Now I talked to somebody in the comment section or whatnot. They got one of these out of the storefront and they absolutely love it. And you know what? If you've been sitting around with, you know, a Pepsi bottle, I could see why you would love it. So again, nothing, a little rough around the edges, but nothing really wrong with it. Works, functional, all that. But now that I got one in my hand, and I have been using this for a week now, exclusively, it's the price is a little bit too high. I mean, I don't regret buying it. I wouldn't know otherwise. It's provided content here and whatnot, but I think the price point needs to come down a little bit. And if that could be lost, the double branding, Spitbud.com. Anyway, that is my take. The roadies there too on the storefront, but these are, you know, I would go to the source for these, because in a plain color like the OD green or the khaki, they're cheaper. They're just cheaper that way. So, and it's always good if you can get to the source. As I said, the Amazon page, I've added stuff to the storefront there to add interest. I'm not really suggesting anybody give Amazon business. I do not really like Amazon, all right? But I do realize that people use Amazon anyway, and I'm not going to be able to dissuade them, or more likely their wives or girlfriends, from doing that. So if you are buying something from Amazon, if you would go through my storefront link, that helps the channel. Anyway, I do hope you all are well. I'll be setting up videos the next day or two for next week. Do take care of yourselves. Hopefully this stop button will work this time. And as always, God bless.